My name is Kira Adams, and this is my Faith Lived in Worship presentation. For this research, I went to the Avon Parkside Church of the Nazarene, which is a Nazarene denomination Christian church located in Avon, Indiana, which is a part of the community that I live in. So, to start, I'm going to describe the worship service. So, it started with a small prayer before it led into 4 to 5 Christian songs, and then we had another small prayer before 1 or 2 Christian songs. This is very similar to the setup of my own church. We have a small prayer in between, and then we sing one more song. All of these songs were new modern Christian songs, so they're songs that I've heard in my own church before. Even if I didn't know all the words, they were all about loving God and Jesus and having a sanctified life. So then, after all of the worship concluded, we went ahead and listened to Reverend Stephen's sermon. This sermon was about being a true friend. So, Reverend Stevens talked about being encouraging, being supportive, being there for someone when they need it, just all the qualities of being a true friend and also being a true holy friend. So, we did some introspection into how we are as friends to others. So we want to make sure that we are helping our friends make the right decisions, allowing them to lean on us when they need it, and always being there for them in their holy life and guiding them onto the right path with Jesus. It's not necessarily about, or wasn't necessarily about converting people that we don't know into being Christians, but allowing the friends that we do have become into better Christians. So that was a really good sermon. It was very resonated with me as I am in my early 20s, and having good friends is really something that's difficult for me to find. A friend with truly good intentions. So I really enjoyed his sermon. Um, and then after that, we ended with another prayer before we were sent off. Before and after the church service, the people there were very friendly and jovial with one another. They were warm. They were receptive to me as I was alone by myself. So I really appreciated that about their church. The mission of the congregation is to make disciples of the nations. So, what that means to them, I think, is going out into places that they are familiar with or unfamiliar with, and making sure that everyone knows that they are a disciple and trying to make these people who may not know who Jesus is into disciples. So, from what I read from Fisher and Hart, a disciple is like a regular person who is still working on their relationship with Jesus. So, I thought that was really interesting as a mission, and it's also the mission of the entire global mission of the Nazarene Church. So that really reflected in these people. So, how I think that the church tries to live out their mission is at the beginning of the service, they had announcements, and it was about donations and service opportunities, especially with fall coming around, school donations like backpacks and food, and making sure that the kids are getting to school safely and securely. So, I think that that's a form of them trying to live out their mission, that even though they're not physically having a conversation with these people about who Jesus is and who God is and his love, they are making sure that they know that they represent themselves as the Church of the Nazarene and in through their donations. Also, they had announcements celebrating people in the church for their accomplishments, and I thought that that was sweet. And they also offered anyone to come up and pray at the altar at any time, which I also think is a part of living out their mission, because they do so with open arms. Moving on, I liked that the service was casual, similar to my own church. I liked that everyone was interactive with each other and friendly. I really liked the sermon and that it could resonate with me even if I'm not a part of that denomination. And the only thing that I could find that challenged me was that it was just so similar to my church that it was hard for me to really discern the difference between denominations. But it was still important for me to see that anybody who's a Christian will still act like a Christian and speak like a Christian, and that really came through the Church of the Nazarene, and I'm very grateful for the experience.